Breaking: the Steelers make blockbuster move. This is perfect. The Pittsburgh Steelers have agreed to terms with their star pass rusher that will change their defense. My name is Peyton Kleppe, and on today's episode of Steelers Digest, we'll be breaking down the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers football team. Before we get into the latest reports, if you guys are not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. We are trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. So breaking news, the Pittsburgh Steelers and TJ Watt have agreed on a contract extension for 3 years, $120 million that will make him the next non-highest paid non-quarterback in the National Football League. This guy deserves every penny of this contract extension, and I'm very happy that we have finally made this contract decision. We have finally signed him to our team, and he will be a Pittsburgh Steeler for life. I'm very happy. We signed the best defensive player in football back to our squad, and I think this is only going to make our team even better and even more motivated as we do head into next season. We have made some crazy additions to our team this offseason, adding guys like Aaron Rodgers, a Super Bowl champion, Hall of Fame quarterback, to our roster, adding a Pro Bowl receiver like DK Metcalf to our roster, and also adding a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback in Jaylen Ramsey, who's going to be able to talk some smack, cover some wide receivers, and also play a hybrid position on our defense at the safety and nickel cornerback position. But like I said, the Steelers have signed TJ Watt for the next couple of years. This does add to his current contract, so he is under contract for the next 4 years, going through 2028, 2029. So this guy will be a Pittsburgh Steeler for life, barring, that the Pittsburgh Steelers will keep him on the roster, which I think they do intend to do. He's the best defensive player in football. He gets $1 million more than Myles Garrett, as he does deserve. And, I do expect him to have a breakout season next year like he did, coming off that other contract extension he did sign a few years ago back in 2021. But, TJ Watt, he's been the leader of our team. He's been a class act, He responds to criticism in the right way. During the season, he was asked, who's better, you or Myles Garrett? He gave his props to Myles Garrett, but this guy knows that he's the best, doesn't need to show off. He just shows up on the field, does what he's told. He's a model guy on and off the field, doesn't really make any too crazy headlines. The only thing he did do earlier this offseason, throw up a picture on Instagram with the peace out sign, just trying to get these contract negotiations, ramped up. But we finally got the deal done. Unfortunately, we did have to move on from a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick to get this deal done, to clear up some space. We did send him over to Miami. Best of luck to Minkah, but I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will make some news and make some more moves in the next couple days. Maybe add another safety. There's some more guys on the market. Guy like Justin Simmons, I believe Julian Blackmon, former Colt, still a young guy, still a young talented guy, is also still a free agent, so we could look to sign him as well. But adding a guy like TJ Watt, it's just going to totally, just keep our defense going, keep us one of the best defenses in the National Football League, keep our defensive line at the top of the NFL. We're adding this guy to a first-round pick in Derek Harmon, a former, a future Hall of Famer in Cam Heyward, and all those young guys in Keanu Benton, the little TJ Watt and Nick Herbig, the recently drafted guy in Jack Sawyer, and, the partner in crime, Alex Highsmith, a guy that, people don't really talk about Alex Highsmith, but he's a guy that, shows up to work. He's like another mini TJ. Doesn't make any really bad headlines off the field, just shows up, doesn't talk smack, doesn't really say much, but, shows up on the field. If we look back a few years when TJ was hurt, this guy had a great season. I believe he had, 12 or 13 sacks, led the league in forced fumbles, and, this guy could be a number one edge rusher on any other team but the Pittsburgh Steelers, because obviously we do have the best outside linebacking core in the National Football League. I do expect us to, continue to keep getting better with the addition of a guy like Jack Sawyer and the constant development of a guy like Nick Herbig. If we do look earlier on today, there was a picture posted of TJ Watt and Nick Herbig training earlier on. TJ was looking, jacked. And, his little buddy, Nick Herbig, was there working out with him. This was a little bit of foreshadowing, but, I didn't want to get too excited. But I did expect, something was going to come out of it, whether it was, TJ was going to get signed in the next couple of days. But, a pleasant surprise. The Pittsburgh Steelers and TJ Watt have agreed to a contract. It's going to keep him with the Pittsburgh Steelers, keep him in that one helmet for the rest of his career. Keep him in as we do look to develop him to the Hall of Famer that he is, as he looks to surpass guys like LT, guys like, Reggie White, and all those defensive legends. But this is just another thing that really does show that the Pittsburgh Steelers are all in this offseason. They're willing to pay, plenty of players, which, they haven't really done in the past. They're willing to pay a guy like Jonnu Smith, a Pro Bowl tight end who we did bring in. They're willing to pay a guy like Jaylen Ramsey, another Pro Bowl cornerback who we did decide to bring in. They also did dish out a ton of money to DK Metcalf, our solid number one wide receiver, who they did extend for 5 years. I believe it was around $120 million, something along those lines. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have shown that they are all in. They're willing to pay whoever they need, and I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be one of the top teams in the AFC, ready to contend for a Super Bowl. I think we do have all the pieces at the moment, and now that TJ Watt is under contract, he will be with the team for training camp. No more holdouts, no more news, no more, outside noise. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be ready to go with everybody on their roster, on the field, ready to get ready for the season, as we do look to have another successful season, looking to get over that hump, looking to give TJ Watt his first career playoff win. I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be able to do it this year. It's just going to come down to how the offense and Aaron Rodgers, really does pan out. But, there really hasn't been a ton of news around Aaron Rodgers since he has signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It has been pretty much a big waiting game for us Steelers fans this offseason, with the whole Aaron Rodgers dilemma, with the TJ Watt contract extension, with the trade for Jaylen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, with the trade of, DK Metcalf, also sending, George Pickens to the Cowboys for a few different picks. But everything has fallen into place perfectly. And I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers did make all the necessary moves that they needed to make this offseason to make sure they are one of the contending teams in the AFC. I do think we're going to be contending for that top spot in the AFC North, beat out the Baltimore Ratbirds, show them who's boss, show them who the true kings of the AFC North will be, and, hopefully get that 7th Lombardi trophy. But unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys today on Steelers Digest. Thank you so much. If you guys not already currently subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button down below. And just one more thing, tell them to bring me my money. Here we go, Steelers.